So you, yes, you, want to learn the correct way to mod WWE 2K25 characters? Well, I have to say I don't think there really is one. But I've got my way right here. And in this tutorial, you'll learn how to do it in the words of the late great Frank Sinatra. You'll learn how to do it my way. Let's check it out. So now that we've found and loaded our outfit, let's show you just what I mean by how to change the colors. But before I do, I want to duplicate a few layers. So we're going to do this and shut this thing off. So, like, for example, these on the side, we got to get rid of these. So, what I'm going to do, something rather simple. You're going to click the quick select here. And I'm going to get rid of these like this. Just do the, actually, the yellow part I'm going to need in another layer just so I can show you how to recolor. This will apply for the entire outfit, so I'm going to go ahead and clone this into many different parts for you guys. So, I'll be right back as soon as I do that. Alright, so I've got all this separated into different layers. Well, the main parts. I'll do the rest of it later. So what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and line this back up for one thing. Okay, so since we're working with that layer, this is going to be our example. Let's say you want to make this purple, because I actually do. So I'm going to go to Hue Saturation, slide this all the way over to purple. By the way, I'm using Photoshop. I recommend it. I'm going to switch this over to being a dark purple. Now I want to make sure that my layers click in like that. So there you have it. That's how you recolor. But what about the original outfit? Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they say on hair, as they used to say on Harold. Anyway, I want it black. So what I'm going to do, there's a few ways I can do this. That way, which does not look right like that. Or you can go to Image Adjustments Black and White, and then set it to pure black. Or maximum black, I should say. And then but before you do this, I recommend separating all your attire parts into different layers. I did this off camera, and I'm going to show you how to do it again. Now let's say this is needing to be separated. All you're going to want to do, this is the simple part. You take this, you say cut, then paste, and it gives you a different layer. But you make sure the original layers and the cut layers and the pasted layers, the pasted layer is in its original place. I swear I can talk. Anyway, we're going to turn that purple as well. And this basically will work with just about anything you want to do. You just, again, you're going to go down here, repeat the process, basically just anything you want recolored. You just go back to the original layer, quick select it. Of course, not the original layer. You want your first duplicated layers. What is going on here? Why isn't it letting me? Okay, so first duplicate layer here. Why does it keep? Oh gosh. Okay. I don't know why it keeps doing that, honestly. Oh wait, do I need it down here? Yep. So there's an easier way to do this. You click your magic wand. You know what? You could. Or in this case, you take this, and then you're going to highlight all the square parts here. I swear this works. Yeah, I was ashamed of that one too. And then you're going to hit cut, and then you're once again going to hit cut right here. Cut, and then hit paste again. And there you have it. Just repeat that and slide it right back into place. And then recolor it. Again, I can't say enough how important it is for you to have Photoshop for this. That's what this tutorial was made on. I will not tell you where to get it because I can't. Anyway, that's how you recolor an outfit. Join me and I will show you the Blender portion of this tutorial right about now. Yeah, it is actually photo. Okay, photo it is. So photo it is. Ignore what I said before. And we're going to use this photo of Kendall Gray here. What you want to do is you want to make sure everything is lined up. Pretty much is. And then you're going to hit done. You only need really one image. That's how I do it anyway. And then create from photo. And it will give you your head and then save it. Of course, you're going to have that. The FG mark is only going to be on the texture itself, which we're not using. So ignore that. Anyway, now to save it. Oh, jeez. How do you save it? Okay, you're going to hit save as here. Actually, no, it's export. My mistake. It's export. And then hit export there. And then I'm not going to show this, but I'm going to put this as Kindle face. So you're going to need face to modeler. I'm going to have you guys. Basically, you have to find most of this stuff on your own, because, oh, like most of this stuff, like I said in the opening, you'll already have it if you're doing anything with 2K25 at all. You'll already have it. Anyway, intermission while I find the next tool we're going to need. And of course, you're looking at Blender here, so I'm going to clear this out. The model that we used at the very opening, which was Nikki Cross, we're going to go ahead and import that as an MCD. Now, this tutorial assumes you already have the things that we need, so I'm not going to provide any of it. So what we do now is I'm going to head over to my hard drive where all my Creative Superstar files are. We'll go to cast and not cast. We're going to characters this time. Scroll down until we find the Nikki Cross that we're using. This one right here, 698. Take base model, and you're going to put the base model MCD in there. And do we load the material textures? Yes. Import shape keys? Yes. All of that except the second and fourth option are clicked, and it will come right in. Now this is where it gets interesting. Hang on, I'm going to do my keyboard first. I use another keyboard because this laptop does not have the keys I need. So this is where it gets kind of interesting, because there are two methods you can use. Like I said, you can use the head method, which is what I'm going to show in this. I'll show them both in this tutorial, but here you go to Wavefront OBJ. This computer's slow. And there's our Kindle face right there. It's going to show up right here. What you want to do, you hit S on the keyboard to resize it. What is that thing doing? Oh, it's clipping inside that. Okay. You got to resize it until it matches up with what we're using. And this stuff down here, delete it. You don't need it. There you go. And then once you have it the size you need it, you're going to click over here on the arrow and you're just going to move it up. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I'm humming an old Michelle McCool theme because that's what I think of when I hear that phrase. Anyway, this is, you're going to go until you have it overlapping enough. And then the original model, our head skinned right here, I am actually going to go back to, hang on just one second, I'm going to go back to Photoshop and save my face models. Or textured, I should say. Okay. So with that said, I meant to pause that while I was doing that, but I can just cut it out. Anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to highlight this model here. From where this is, you would put in head color, the head color that I saved on the desktop. I don't need the original Nikki Cross one here. I'm going to click right down here on base color. Go here to image, texture, and I'm going to click the folder here. And again, it won't show up in the thing, but you know I'm doing it. I'm going to go with, where is that head color that I saved? Right there. And then once you click this up here, it will show the texture for you. Or it should. Stupid thing. There we go. Now, I didn't need this texture, though, but it's fine. It is fine. Because I'm going to push this one a little. I'm going to resize that a little bit more. Because you want it to be like this. Now, you can either sculpt it or you can shrink wrap it. I don't know much about shrink wrapping, but I'm going to give it a go here. Possibly. So I want to show different methods on how to do this. So the shrink wrap method works like this. You go to shrink wrap, you go to add modifier, I should say, hit shrink wrap. And what you're going to do, I can never remember this. It's you're shrink wrapping your head that we made to the Nikki Cross head. So you highlight the original head up here, wherever that is, right? Okay, I've already got it. Head high res. You're going to send that to head over here. Get rid of head high res. And it still looks like Nikki Cross. So I did that wrong, apparently. So the other way to do this, I'm just going to sculpt it. No, wait. I'm going to properly show you guys how to do the shrink wrap, because I've been asked that too. So what I want to do, yeah, we have it on shrink wrap. I'm going to take this. I want to make sure that I have head skin selected, though. Right down here. Because this is what I need to do. I'm going to have to re-add the modifier here because I did it on the wrong layer. Stupid me. Anyway, you take it to head high res, click there, and then turn off head high res, and you should get it. That kind of works. That's the basics of it. But what if you wanted to sculpt it? Easy. You want the draw tool right here. This is how you sculpt it. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. Bring it up a little bit. So about 105, maybe a little bit more. And you'll get a pretty decent sculpt here once we get everything finished. Get it all wrapped up like we need. Now just be very careful and don't pull what I used to do of doing it like this. You want to do it one click at a time to make sure everything works. Let me see how it looks. Turn off head high res, and you kind of have it there. Now, just for reference sake, I'm going to add the attire just for the hair. Slow ass computer. Anyway, just for the sake of the reference, again, the attire will be added just for the hair. I'm taking the rest of it. I'm going to remove the rest that isn't the hair because we're not making Nikki Cross here. Okay, so to color your hair, don't mess with the Lambert, by the way. Just turn that shit off because you ain't going to need it. At least I never do. So to color the hair, this is actually really simple. I'm going to click over here. No, just no. Actually, yeah. Let's do that, and we'll just turn off the scene lights. The scene world, I mean. And this is pretty easy. To get it in the preview area, you're going to want to go back over to where I showed you before. Hit base color, and we're going to change it to black here. And there you have it. Sort of, kind of looks like Kindle Gray if her eyeballs were popping out. Now, what I just showed you with the face can also be done easily with nothing more than a picture. And I'm going to show you just what I mean in just a second. Okay, so you only hit 5 what? I've already hit 5, so let's just bring in that photo of Kendall Gray that I showed you earlier. And I will show you just how to do it with a picture. How to sculpt with a picture, that is. I shouldn't have to explain that. Anyway, we're going to use this. Let's just, where's the one of her face that I had? There we go. This should work just fine. Just drag that in. I'm going to resize it. And let's see, we're going to see if it'll let me move it down. Yes, okay. And again, what you want to do, I'm going to position it like so, like it's an overlay on her face. And what we do now, I'm going to move this over so it doesn't exactly, it has to line up perfectly. Now, go back to this little picture thing, and I'm going to click front here. And then let's see, where's the opacity? There we go. Drag the opacity down. And as you can see, it's not quite lined up yet, but I can easily get it there for you. So, now that it's all lined up as best we can, the eyes, well, we're focused on here. We're focused basically on the face. So we're going to go to the face here and use that same draw tool. But this time, and this is what you need to do for all of it. You're going to want to, where is it? You'll click symmetry over here. Click X, Y, Z, and that'll give you your symmetry. I'm going to set this back to around roughly 150 to 200 pixels, depending on who I'm making. Now, other tools you can use, and by the way, make sure this is on negative. Because we're already, by the way, I realize that Nikki Cross might not be the best example for this. This is just to show you how to do it. I'm not suggesting this is who to use. Anyway, all that said, we're going to hit Z a few times to go back to Nikki Cross. And yet I'm actually going to hit the 5 key right there. I should have done that before. See now? That's not lined up. So I'm going to go back and line it up again. Where is it? Stupid picture. Aha, there you are. So, like I said in the open, you need to pick the model that you think will work best. Obviously, Nikki Cross isn't it for Kendall Gray. But again, this is just me suggesting things. But other ways to there's other ways you can actually sculpt this. You don't have to use the draw tool. And I'm going to show you one more. The grab tool. You just drag these in to line up with the face. And then make sure everything is lined up properly here. That's key. You want to line up the eye sockets with the eyes in the picture. And then basically, this is, if you've ever made a creator wrestler before, it's exactly like that, except it's a little more in depth. But let's see what we've got. That's what we've got. I'm not too proficient at doing it this way, so don't look at me. Anyway, I'm going to set this back to the original way it should be. And I'm going to actually show you one more way to do this. Elastic deform. Now, the way you choose to do it is up to you, ultimately. I'm just going to move some parts around and show you how easy this is to get going. It's still going to look like Nikki Cross because there's a lot much more I need to do to this. This was just an example. This Kendall Gray will not be released because she's nowhere near ready, and because I need her for somebody else. Anyway, guys, I got another video to do, but before I get out of here, I'm going to show you just how to texture this whole thing, like this. So you can see just what it looks like when it's, of course, I'm going to need a ponytail because she's always wearing her hair in one, but this is just example hair, if you will. I'm going to go ahead back to the color portion here. I'm going to make this black. And just a little bit of advice. I said this earlier, and I will say it again because I don't think I can say it enough. Turn off the Lambert. And there you go, everybody. That's the creation process of creating a mod. I hope, for WWE 2K25 that is, I hope this helped you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.